What's up, party people? So as with all things on this channel, if you know me in real life, you may know this about me, but you also might not. I have a huge fascination with space. Like, I want to learn everything that there is to learn about space. And to be quite honest, I have a pretty good grasp on the basics. I've taken like 3 or 4 astronomy classes, I've read books, I've watched TV shows. I love space, okay? And one of my favorite things about space is that it is beautiful. You got your planets, you got your stars, you got your galaxies, and more importantly, you got your nebulas. If you don't know what a nebula is basically a big cloud of gas and dust, and it's where stars form. I'm not quite sure where this has come from, but lately I've had the desire to like memorize the nebulas. Like, I want to know what I'm looking at when I see a picture of space without reading the description. I don't have time for that. And I definitely have a few memorized, but besides that, I have quite a bit of work to do because there are a lot of nebulas in existence. Okay, so today I thought maybe we could look at some of them together and tier rank them. These videos are pretty popular, I think. Also, I have space makeup on my face, and if you want a tutorial for that, it was already posted, so check that out. So as you can see, I have my tier list pulled up, and I also have a PowerPoint pulled up. I felt like there was no way to see what they looked like unless I actually pulled up a big picture of them, so I hope that helps, but let's go ahead and get into the ranking bit. Up first, we have the Butterfly Nebula. Now, I'm realizing that I may need some sort of criteria for ranking these because, you know, how do you rank a nebula? I don't know. I think the 3 main things I'm going to be looking at are A, how pretty they are, of course, like how pretty the colors are and whatnot. B, how unique they are, because you're gonna see in here, a lot of these look pretty similar. And then C, their names. How good are their names? Some of them are kind of embarrassing, to say the least. So let's get on with it. So first we have the Butterfly Nebula. As far as looks go, honestly, this one bores me a little bit. There's not a whole lot going on here. It kind of just vaguely looks like a butterfly. The colors aren't really that great, and like, I know it depends on what kind of light you take the picture in, like whether you're doing visible light, infrared, so on and so forth. But in this particular picture, and let me just say, I tried to find the best possible pictures of all of these. This picture just isn't really doing it for me, honestly. I'm gonna put it maybe, honestly, I think I'm gonna put it in C. I just think it's kind of basic. Moving on, next we have the Ring Nebula. This one has to be one of my least favorite nebulas. First of all, so many nebulas look like this. It's like impossible to tell them apart. Like, look at the Ring Nebula next to the Helix Nebula. They're exactly the same practically. The name, I would give it like a C or D for creativity. I don't know why people like this nebula. I feel bad putting it in D, but like, I'm putting it in D. This is my video. I can judge them how I want. Okay, next we have the Omega Nebula. I had never heard of this nebula before until I was Googling nebulas, or nebulae, that's the plural. This picture is very pretty. I like the colors. In fact, can I zoom in more? No, it'll probably, well, let me try. I like how you can see all of the stars like in front of it. I like the picture. My only problem with this nebula is that it seems like it would be really hard to distinguish. At least like the butterfly one is unique looking. We're off to a bad start, but I'm putting it in C too. It's C tier, I'm sorry. All right, now we have the Lagoon Nebula. My problem with this one is that it also seems like it would be kind of hard to distinguish, but I love the colors on this one, and I feel like you guys have to agree with me on that. The rainbow colors, beautiful. This is getting tough because I feel like I'm being really judgmental, so I'm not giving any of these a good score, even though the reality is they're all really pretty. Okay, I like it better than the ones we've seen so far because of the colors, and I really like the name. I think it looks like a magical mermaid lagoon, so I'm gonna put it in B tier. All right, next we have the Horsehead Nebula, and I believe this one is a part of the Orion Nebula. First of all, this one is so easy to identify as long as you're actually zoomed in onto the horse head. Second of all, this is one of the best pictures I've ever seen of the Horsehead Nebula. I really like the photo. I would easily make this my background on my computer. I've seen this one a lot. This one's a pretty popular nebula. My only problem with the nebula is that I don't think it looks like a horse head. I think it looks like the Loch Ness Monster. Loch Ness Monster. Yeah, it looks like the Loch Ness Monster. But I guess calling it the Loch Ness Monster Nebula wouldn't really flow very well, so Horsehead Nebula it is. This one I think I have to put in A tier. Like, it's a good nebula. Finally, we're getting somewhere. Okay, next we have the Helix Nebula. God, I hope that's what this one is called. I think this is the Helix Nebula, but honestly, it looks super similar to the Ring Nebula, so I don't know. This nebula is so overrated. Okay, this is the intro, what's it called? Like the title sequence picture for Cosmos with Neil deGrasse Tyson in it. If you know, you know. And I get it because it kind of looks like an eye, and I think people think that that's cool. And maybe there's beauty and simplicity, and I'm being a little harsh here, but I feel like I would personally prefer to like frame something that was a little bit more complex than like a circle. I'm starting to think that all planetary nebulas look exactly the same. I have to put it higher than the Ring Nebula though, because I think it's a little bit better than the Ring Nebula because it does look more like an eye, and it has a little bit more clout than the Ring Nebula thanks to Cosmos. I still think it has more clout than it deserves though, so I'll put it in C tier. Okay, next we have the Engraved Hourglass Nebula, and I have to say I really like the name for this one. On the scale of uniqueness though, it's pretty unique. Like, I feel like I could identify this one a lot easier than some of the other ones. The colors are kind of lame in this photo. I guess I like it better than some of the ones in C tier, so I think I'll put it in B tier. Okay, next we have the Dumbbell Nebula, and I love this nebula. The colors in this photo are so beautiful. I love that you can see all of the stars around the photo. I just think this one is absolutely gorgeous, and I would frame this one. Also, I had never even heard of the Dumbbell Nebula until I started doing my research, which means it's highly underrated and I need to give it some more clout right now. My only qualm with this nebula is that it's called the Dumbbell Nebula. I literally don't understand where that came from. It's like kind of a circle, but I think I am gonna put it in the S tier. Our first S tier. Whoop. All right, next we have the Capsize Nebula. This one I automatically think also goes in S tier. I like the colors in this photo a lot less than I like the colors in the Dumbbell Nebula, but I've never seen a nebula look like this before. The design in it is so intricate. So yeah, I think it goes in S tier just for pure uniqueness and complicated. What the heck is the word? Complexity. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. Okay. Next we have the Pillars of Creation, and this is part of the Eagle Nebula. So I've seen a lot of it, but I'm not really tired of it yet. It's super easy to identify, and the picture just looks pretty cool. I don't even know if I need to say any more. I think this one's right up here with the Horsehead Nebula. Moving on, we have the Tarantula Nebula. Now, when I saw this one for the first time, I was shook. This is like the coolest picture I've ever seen in my life. It looks like a whole other world. Like, I don't even know how else to say it. This picture is incredible. There's so much going on here. It almost looks like a drawing or something. Like, this cannot be real. My only qualm with it is that it is called the Tarantula Nebula. I hate that. Why would you name something this beautiful after a tarantula? This picture is just so high quality. I live, breathe, and die for this picture. I'm putting it in S tier. This one might even be my favorite one so far. Okay, next we have the Egg Nebula. You heard it right, folks. This one is called the Egg Nebula. I will say it again. It is named after an egg, a food we all know and love. I like this one a lot because of its name, and because of the colors in this picture, and because of all the like waves. I think that's polarization. I like it a little bit less after reading this description of it. NASA says, like a baby chick pecking its way out of an egg, the star in the center of the Egg Nebula is casting away shells of gas and dust as it slowly transforms itself into a white dwarf star. Like a baby chick pecking its way out of an egg. That just does not add up to me, but okay. The Egg Nebula is pretty, and it has a cool name, and it has cool colors, and I like the little polarization things, so I'm gonna put it in A tier. We have two more left. Here we have the Trifid Nebula. I quite like this one. I like the colors in it, and I like that it's kind of easy to identify because it does have these like well, it's more like 4 if you ask me, but I guess you could consider this one. It has like a couple thingies sticking out that kind of look like 3 thingies so you can remember its name is the Trifid Nebula. I would say that this one also reminds me of like a mermaid lagoon. I think I'm gonna put this one in B tier. And then our final nebula that we're going to be ranking today is the Crab Nebula. This one I am sick and tired of seeing everywhere. It is probably overrated. First of all, I hate the colors in it. I hate the light green and like burnt orange yellow colors. I also see this nebula way too much. I don't know why it's so popular. I also don't know why it's called the Crab Nebula. Like, what part of this reminds you of a crab? I have to give it credit though for being kind of cool looking and for being kind of easy to identify because it's in like this oval shape and it has all these weird things like coming on the inside. Also, the picture makes it look really 3D, which I like. I hate to put it in C tier because then it makes this whole thing look kind of weird, but I feel like it kind of just belongs in C tier. So yeah, this is my final tier ranking of, I think this is like 15 nebulas. There's so many other ones to choose from. Comment down below if I missed a good one. Yeah, so I'm gonna wrap up this video. Comment down below if you also have a strange affinity for space and I will heart your comment. I will also link in the description the makeup tutorial for this look if you're interested. I had a fun time doing that as well. As usual, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it and subscribe for more videos of mine because I post a new video every single Saturday. I hope you're all doing well and I will see you all soon with another video. Bye!